What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and a couple of other tickers, break down what's going on with the charts thus far, and what you should be watching for moving forward, and how things are looking in my personal opinion as we approach the next day. But let me mention that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you are guaranteed 7 free stocks, and the offer ends in just 5 days from now. Anyways, when it comes to the market right now, SPY is dipping all the way down to this support right here. This is where we had this gap support in this 525.5 area. This is on the daily time frame. Now, if we end up losing this support, we could come all the way down to fill this gap, and it's going to be all the way down to the 523 area. Now, it could happen by tomorrow if not, but we do have support right here, so we'll have to see if we get a little rebound first before we continue lower. I'll be watching to see what ends up happening from here. But I just want to say that right now, if you pull up the hourly time frame on SPY, we are looking more bearish right now. The bears are in full control, and we're going to be looking at our 525 zone and very close to our 200 EMA right here. That's going to be right about here on the hourly time frame. If we lose that 200 EMA close to the 525 area, then look for another rejection and move all the way down to about 523. So we'll be watching that very, very carefully. We have resistance currently at 526.6, then 528 and 529.5. Overall, the trend is more bearish looking, so it does favor more downside. But just to be safe, watch and see how we end up reacting to the 525 zone. But overall, we are bearish looking, guys. We have been sinking. There's no sign of a rebound just yet. Now, for Nvidia, we pushed all the way up to about 1,063. We kind of got a rejection here. So if Nvidia does start dipping a little bit lower, I'll be watching 1,040 around that area. If we lose that, watch 1,029. That's going to be our 0.236 retracement. And we could actually bounce off that again. I just want to make it very clear that right now, Nvidia is still very strong. It's still up 9.6% for the day. It's still holding support quite nicely, so it's not looking too bad. For Tesla, we're on a very, very big downtrend right here. We got a big rejection since yesterday. It's been sinking, and we have support currently around this 173.25 area. So I'll be watching this very, very carefully. How does Tesla respond in the 173s? If we lose this, watch 172, then 170. We have resistance currently at 175, 176.64, and then 178. Overall, the trend is more bearish on Tesla, so make sure you watch this 172 to 173 area and know that right now it's looking a little bit weak, looking very, very weak. We didn't really have too much insanely negative news for Tesla. I wouldn't say it was that bad. It's more like it's getting affected by the overall market, and the whole market's selling off. So that's no surprise as Tesla has a high beta. For the triple Q, we're barely testing this 453 zone of support. This is where we got two bounces historically. If we lose this, we're going to be dipping all the way down to about 452. This entire zone right here, we actually have a gap to fill down here. So I could see 451.6 to 452, this zone, as our next target if we do end up getting a rejection. So I'll be watching that very, very carefully just to see how we end up moving. That's going to be pivotal for the way things end up developing. So I'll be watching that right over here. If we end up losing the support, we're going to be dipping all the way down to about 450. We also happen to have resistance all the way up here at 454.5. I'll be watching that as well, but it does look a bit more bearish, so make sure you watch 453. For Aapl stock, we came very close to the 200 EMA. That's going to be this 187 support. We have resistance at 188. If we do break through this, you'll be watching essentially 188.75 and then 189 as resistance. So the trend is more bearish. We're on a bit of a downtrend right here. We could push a little bit higher towards 188 or so before it continues lower. But make sure, make sure you watch and see how we end up reacting here. The chart is still looking a bit weaker, in my personal opinion. So look for a little rebound on Aapl and see if we end up getting rejection or not. The whole market is kind of sinking. We also have a few more stocks like Coinbase. Coinbase has support between this key Fibonacci retracement area and where we currently are. So we have 218 as support. If we lose that, so we're going to be looking for a bigger dip all the way down towards, I'd say 210. And if we end up holding this area, we could be trying to rebound to our 0.236 retracement, 0.382 retracement, at 222. Overall, it's looking a little bit more bearish. So watch 218 and see if we lose that or not. For Amazon, we're looking a bit more bearish. We're holding 180 as support. This is the historical support. If we lose this, look for 178. If we bounce off this, 182 is coming, but overall, we're just shuffling at 180, and there's a risk of it dipping a little bit lower. Same thing with Meta. Meta is barely holding 462 as support. If we hold it, if we hold this support, then yes, we could get a rebound back up to 465. And if we lose it, we're going to be dipping all the way down towards 460. So I'll be watching that very carefully just to see how things end up going. Some stocks like Microsoft are still looking a little bit stronger than the market overall. They're not that bearish looking. We lost our 50 EMA, so it's not the best of signs. And our next support is going to be all the way down here towards 425. So watch 427 and 425 as supports on Microsoft. For Google, same thing. We also lost our 50 EMA. We're approaching this imbalance right here at 175. If we lose that support, we're dipping down to the 200 EMA at 174, and I do see a risk of that. If we hold it, we could rebound, but overall, I do see a risk of this dipping a little bit more. Anyways, guys, that is it for the video. I want to give you guys a very quick update. Just know that the market is looking weaker. And for SPY, I'm going to be watching to see how we end up closing, if we end up holding 525 or not. But regardless of that, if you look at the daily time frame, we have a nice gap to fill all the way down here in the 523 area. So I'm going to be eyeing this, especially going into tomorrow, to see how well we hold up. Anyways, that's it. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys in just a few hours, and peace out.